A brand new update has dropped, bringing Pokopia to 1.0.4. Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new Pokemon Pokopia video. Just a quick video today because a brand new update has landed, fixing a big feature, introducing a few other bug fixes, and adding many improvements along the way. So if you're ready to break down all of the latest information, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new here, and let's get into it. So the first big thing here is, and I quote, "We have implemented improvements to address the following issues. You can now relocate Pokemon centers while in-game events are underway." So it's pretty self-explanatory. Even if an event like the Bulbasaur event that's happening right now in Pokemon Pokopia is underway, you can still relocate Pokemon centers. Now I have to be honest, I didn't even know you could move the Pokemon centers, but it turns out if you use a relocation kit in the shop, it also works on Pokemon centers. Apparently this was an issue during an event, but it's now been fixed. So not only have I learned that we can move Pokemon centers just like any other building, but we can do it at any point now, even if an event is underway. But for the sake of completeness, we will go through all of the patch notes, because I know a lot of you have been having issues with various tasks and areas, and this should address most of them. So the patch notes confirm, and I quote, "Additionally, the following issues have been fixed. In Bleak Beach, the request wanted food could not be progressed under certain conditions." Again, pretty self-explanatory. If you move certain tiles or have certain Pokemon do certain things under certain circumstances, there is quite a few requests in the game that can't be progressed because things have changed that the game hasn't accounted for. This one in particular has been fixed. In Bleak Beach, performing certain actions would prevent the request "pool repair needed" from appearing. Much the same, this has of course been optimized, so you should have no problems going forward. In Bleak Beach, after completing the request "pool repair needed," it was sometimes impossible for the player to have Happiny accompany them. I think a lot of these patches and bug fixes are all to do with how we've played the game before going into a request, and they're learning from this and fixing them as we go. Next up, in the Sparkling Skylands during the request, Pokemon Center Tour Guide performing certain actions could prevent the player from having Tink Master accompany them, making the request impossible to progress. I've personally experienced this as well, I know a lot of you have, and it's to do with taking Pokemon into different areas and then not coming back, so you can take them somewhere else, and there's all sorts of issues like that, but they are being ironed out, and this one has been fixed in Sparkling Skylands. Performing certain actions would cause Professor Tangrowth to stop appearing. I've not had this one personally, but I have seen a few comments about Professor Tangrowth just disappearing. I imagine it's when you're going between regions or something, but yep, this fixes that. If certain Pokemon were waiting to appear, other Pokemon would sometimes also fail to appear. So just a bit of a glitch there, I think. If you're trying to track down a certain Pokemon or you're waiting for another Pokemon to appear, it will also stop other Pokemon appearing, so this update fixes that. Performing certain actions could make Pikachu, Chef Dente, and Tink Master unable to leave town, preventing requests from being progressed. So this is much the same as the one we mentioned just a second ago, that if you've got one of the kind of big Pokemon in a different area, but you need them, like for example Tink Master, to help you build something in a different area, there's issues with you progressing in the game. Under certain conditions, picking up a relocation kit would leave behind indestructible platforms. I don't know much about this one. I imagine this is probably to do with people trying to move Pokemon centers as well during events, and then adjusting the relocation kit and leaving platforms in the game that, because the game doesn't think it's working, but it has, you then can't remove, so this addresses that. Accessing the Pokemon Center PC with certain save data would cause the game to freeze. Pretty big issue there. I've seen a lot of stuff on social media about game freezes. Usually it's not a big deal, you just reset, but you do risk losing some data of course, but this has addressed that. During the in-game events, rebuilding a Pokemon Center using certain actions would cause its decorations to appear floating. Not really sure what's going on here. I imagine it thinks it's kind of been lifted or something and the decorations inside the Pokemon Center have changed, but this update fixes that. During the in-game events, trades could not be conducted at the Pokemon Centers on Cloud Islands. So if you've ever noticed not being able to do trades on Cloud Islands, updating to version 1.0.4 will address that, and you should be good going forward. So as always, just a bit of a quick update here. No massive kind of content changes or anything, just lots of feature fixes and bug fixes and optimizations in the game, just to make things run a little bit more smoothly. Many of these things I have seen people complain about, so they definitely were a thing, but looks like a lot this time around has been fixed. Of course, if your game hasn't updated by itself, you can go to the main menu of the Nintendo Switch 2, press the plus button on the home screen and select the software update over the internet, and you should be good to update to version 1.0.4. So there we go. Let me know if you've experienced any of these, if this is going to help you fix your game. Are you currently stuck halfway through the game? Was worried about having to restart, but now this fixes it? Let me know in the comments. Love hearing your stories and kind of where you're at in the game, what you're doing currently in the game. Are you focusing on building? Are you decorating? Are you currently stuck but now able to continue? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you. Don't forget to subscribe.